But you lash them small. You don't lash them to inflict harm. You understand? Some parents, when they deal with their children, I seem to say, what do you want that one? Do you understand? My mom, there was a tenant in our house. He can beat the child so much. I said, what is this? Leave this child away. The way you are beating the child. One day she just took the woman and said, what do you call me? Because the way you are treating the child. What we are also saying is that don't inflict injuries that are irreparable on them. Do you get the difference? Those are the things that
this is where the interest of my child is. I have to develop it there.
Okay.
Because if I don't do it that way and put the child elsewhere, I'll rather destroy the child.
Okay. Now, when a child is at a certain age, because our laws tell us when children can do certain things, because at that time they can think and they can make decisions for themselves. Now, before a child reaches those stages, you as a parent are supposed to use your very best endeavors to do the right thing by that child. And what the laws of this country are saying is that, as much as possible, your child should go to school at least until they are 15. That's what the law is saying, that the child should go to school at least until they attain the age of 15. Whereby that time, you are saying, I've seen you develop interest in farming. It's also saying, I like farming. And you are saying, okay, it's almost like apprenticeship. Let me go and take you to Mr. Usu, who is a cocoa farmer, so that he can teach you basic farming. And this thing that you are doing, you are not dumping the child with somebody who is going to be taking advantage of the child and exploiting the child. No. This is actually a system which is almost like apprenticeship. It would have a time, an expiry date, and there are expectations and a time to release that child. Please, do you understand what we are trying to say here? Because he's going to learn a trade for his life. You are not dumping them in a cocoa farm. But if you go and dump the child in a cocoa farm, and then the state finds out that you are even collecting 150, 200 Ghana cedis per month for the labor of that child on that farm, on a serious note, whose interest are we serving here? Please, do you understand what we are saying? Whose interest is being served here? So I'm saying you are saying it is relative, and I'm saying that where there isn't really a definition of a particular thing, as my brother is saying over there, reasonableness is what you apply to it. Is it reasonable that your 12-year-old who's a recalcitrant or that baby, and they are sending the money to you on a monthly basis? Is that reasonable? Is that in the interest of the child? Do you know that an 11-year-old child has not finished forming their brain on what is dangerous and what is not?
They can't go to this.
Okay, let's forget about all these cultural norms and practices. Some of them are not good, and we need to do away with when we are learning. So we are supposed to be learning this so that we pass it on to them. But if we are also arguing against it, how is it that you might not always meet all the demands of your children, but then that thing is not going to harm the child? You understand? Clothing the child is more important than getting them a good dress by all means. So the law is not draconian either. The law wants you to do your best. Is that child naked? No. The child is covered, yes. And then Casadega crowd, next Christmas, metal blue and number. Is that what these days? They want cornflakes. They want what for breakfast and the rest of them. When I was young, nobody asked me, when you finish bathing, there's bread, there's some brown. What's I eat the thing and go? You eat it.
My name is Sana Owusu Gibson. I'm with the Human Trafficking Secretariat of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Okay, so the people you see in there are people from the cooperatives and the Department of Social Welfare, Ministry of Labour and Employment, the Child Labour Unit specifically, and the Cocoa Board. As a Human Trafficking Secretariat, we are mandated by law to build the capacities of organizations, institutions that will aid us in the fight against human trafficking. And so for that purpose, every now and then we identify such people and then train them in various areas of human trafficking, identifying victims of trafficking and the various legal processes that are entailed or involved in that. And then how also they can provide assistance to such people in various ways. Not direct assistance as in helping them, but as in, like I mentioned, identifying victims of trafficking and helping in the fight against trafficking. Roughly about 50 people, yes. At the end of the day, so these are individuals who are largely involved with farmers. And we all know that with the case of human trafficking, most of the victims that are trafficked are used in various exploitations. They're exploited in the farms, they are used in fishing and all that. So these individuals here, like the cooperatives, they some way somehow audit, they register cooperatives, and so we identify them as stakeholders in our fight against human trafficking. Fight them in this fight, and so by the end of the day, we hope that they would have acquired some knowledge in human trafficking, the various areas that human trafficking occurs, and how they can also help in sensitizing farmers and people in the cocoa cooperative sectors to help us in the fight against human trafficking. My last word, I think that trafficking largely doesn't only affect the individuals that are trafficked, but it affects the nation as a whole. And so for every child that is trafficked, we lose a lot. We lose the human resources that this nation needs to develop. And so for such individuals who are engaged in human trafficking, the harm of trafficking a child, of exploiting a child, of sexual exploitation, of hard labor, the harm goes generations for that child. That child will grow up into an adult that is wounded psychologically, emotionally, and sometimes even physically, because some of them even die in the process. Some of them get lifetime wounds. And so for such individuals, my plea to them would be to think about the future of this country and think about the future of that child, because we need the children to develop Ghana, to build our nation, and even to help us in our old age. We need such children as well. So my plea is for us to think about the future of Ghana and save these children. Law stipulates a 5-year minimum punishment for anyone caught engaged in human trafficking and a maximum of 25 years imprisonment. And so that is it's not a main punishment. And aside that, which other punishment can we? I think that's what the law mandates. I'll just stick to that.
In fact, they should first of all identify that whatever you want to be in future, you can even become so and better if you engage or if you have formal education. And so if you still want to be a cocoa farmer in future, you still have to receive formal education. So tell your father and your mother that I want to make your cocoa farm bigger and better tomorrow. And before I can do that, I have to receive formal education. Insist that your father takes you. In Nzema, there are 3 cocoa unions, and I'm going to work through them. But with the cocoa unions, you have a lot of these corporate societies coming together to form the union. A lot of education and communication can be routed through these unions. Just this morning, I have a call from one of the chairmen. In fact, I informed him I was coming for such a program. So he said, Director, I told him they should organize their people. From next year, we are going to have an extensive education in this, and I'm going to involve the district directors of the various departments to be involved in this.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.